Okay, this is Oregon, this is Northwest. I can TP to Oregon. There we go, it works. See, it works now. Hello, Sushi Master. Then you can add a button to disable this region or whatever, and that's it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. The next video will be about this same thing, but for like debug type. I thought that that is a little too specific, so I'm going to make two versions of the server list. For this video, I'm going to make a regular server list. That way, this can be a more general video, and the server list in this video will just be one place. It's not for two places like in Deepwoken, where you can join different places as in Deepwoken there's the place for main menu and the place for the actual game, but here it's just one server for everything. So first, let's create a new base plate. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. So I've made a to-do list in Notepad. There we go. So for the server, we're going to create the server name. We're going to create the server region, and we're going to receive all messages using messaging service and send the server name using messaging service. So what we're sending is the server ID, so that people can join the server by using teleport service to the server ID. So okay, so let's make a server script in server script service. Let's call this server or something, serverlist. First of all, let's create the server name. So I want the server name to be similar to a game like Deepwoken, because when you don't have a server name, it's just a random IDs, and I think that's a little too hard to identify. So this my way of doing it is by making an adjective and an object. Like in Deepwoken, there's an adjective and an object like cool shadowcaster or something something flame charmer or something. So I'm going to make a module script below inside of this server for server names. The module will have adjectives and objects. So how do you get adjectives and objects? So well, you can just go to ChatGPT and let it create adjectives for you. Okay. Okay, there you go. There's your adjectives. Boom. Easy. And now the objects. This is a table. I forgot. This is a table. There. There's your objects. You can just write whatever you want, but this is what I'm writing. Okay, sure. Objects. Done. Now we close this and we get the objective by doing this. First, let's import the server names. Server names equals require script.server names. Okay. So let's write the objective. Local objective equals server names dot adjectives. Let's pick a random one. So index it, method random 1, and the max adjectives and the maximal items inside of adjectives. There you go. Do the same with objects. Objects. The server name is adjective, and add a space between the variables. There you go. That's your random server name. Okay, now that you've got your server name, let's get the server region. Okay, so you can get the server region by using HTTP service. There's HTTP service means you can call HTTP requests to APIs. So there's a public API. You can look up what API means. API. I called this API using. See, this gives me my real API. So I'm going to blur this out because I don't want my location to be leaked. So this gave me my country, my region name, my city. This gave me everything. So this gave me the location of my desktop. So you can use the same API to get the location of the server. This is actually really handy. But first, you need to publish your game. Okay, now you go to settings, security. Make sure to turn on HTTP requests, okay? You need to access third-party APIs like this one. So you need to get HTTP service. Let's put this above everything here. HTTP service. Okay, now we can call the URL, local URL. Oops. You can also call other APIs like the Discord API to make something. URL, local response, get async. So this calls the API using a GET request URL. Once you've got the data, let's decode this. So if response, then let's decode the JSON, because APIs return JSONs. If you don't know what JSONs are, you can Google it. What are JSONs? So you can decode this to become a regular table. JSON decode response. There we go. There's your data. And now you can get your cities. You can get the city and or the region. So let's region data, region name, and then you can print region to see if this works. Invalid URL. I forgot I put HTTP twice. So here, see, that's my region. I gotta blur this out. Oh my god, blur this out. That's done. We got the server region, and now we receive all messages in messaging service to receive servers and send clients. And yeah, so let's create a new service variable, messaging service, game, get service, messaging service. Okay, now you can open the API. In messaging service, you can subscribe a sync or publish a sync. So subscribe a sync is for subscribing to a poster, to a publisher. So whenever someone publishes something, you receive that message. When you publish something, you publish a message to every single messenger. So when you subscribe, you receive message. When you publish, you send out message. That's the thing. That's stuff. Okay, messaging service, subscribe a sync. Okay, and there's a topic. What is the topic? So the topic has to be the same as the publisher. So I'm going to subscribe to the topic server, and then there's a function for the callback, and this is the message. I can print the message to see what they've sent. And now I can do the same by posting. So messaging service, post async, publish async, the topic, the server, and the message. It could be anything. Hello, like that. This sends a message, this receives a message. This works. This receives messages across servers. This publishes messages across servers. So it's working. So it's useful for inter-server communication. So I'm going to be receiving a server. The server will have a server name and a server ID and also the region. So let's create a new variable for servers. Local servers right here. So I'm going to send the servers that we've received to the client. So we got the new server. We can insert the servers right here. Servers. The maximum servers, the maximum items, and insert the server right here. Then after 5 seconds, we remove that table. Remove the table and the position. We can use table.find to find the position of our item, the haystack, which is the table, and the needle, which is the object server. You can also use table.insert, but that's up to you. So in 5 seconds, this removes the server from the server's table, basically refreshing everything. So in 5 seconds, the server refreshes. Now, what we also want to do is we want to send our server information to other servers. So what information do we want to send? First, let's make a while loop. While game.vip server ID is an empty string if the game isn't a VIP server. So why are we checking if the game is a VIP server or not? Because VIP servers cannot be accessed by anyone, so it's redundant to access a server that is a VIP server when you don't have access to it. And if you have access to it, you can just click a link or click on your friend to join the VIP server. So having a VIP server here is redundant. So here you can publish your server, and we add a 5-second loop to this loop. 5-second wait to this loop. So what do we send? We're not going to send hello, we're going to send our server information. So let's create a new variable, server information. We're going to have the server name, which is the server name right here, server name. We're going to have the server region, which is this. Let's turn this into a public variable. So let's add local region. Okay. For if we don't receive a response, then the region is not applicable region. And also the server ID, which is game.jobid. The job ID is the server ID. If you use teleport async or a service that teleports you to a different server, you can pass in this ID to teleport to this specific server. Okay, and we're done with the server. We've received the server name. We created the server name for this server. We got the region using HTTP service for saving this region of this specific server. We subscribe to a topic, which is server, to receive servers from other servers, and we also publish our own servers to other servers. So one last thing here is we need to send the client this information. You can do that by creating a remote event in Roblox storage. Let's create this. Let's change this name to serverlist. And also let's make a new remote event for this, for sending the server name and the server region to the client. Server init. So let's create the variables first. Local server init game.applet storage. Wait for child. Server init. Call serverlist game.applet storage for child. Serverlist. There you go. Now let's send the server name to the client. By doing this, we can do this. Server init, fire all clients, the server name, and end the region. Server name and region. Like that. Why we send it before receiving the response is because we need the client to receive the server name immediately before waiting for the region. Because if we wait for the region to be received by the server, then it's going to take a while for the client to receive the server name. But we need the client to load the server name immediately, and then we can wait for the region later. So once the region loads, we can send the region name here. And I think it would be a lot better if we don't send the region, but we send the city and the country. So local city equals data.city, local country equals data.country. So let's do this. City, country. Let's print that actually and see if this is working properly. I'm going to blur this if this works. Oh, I forgot it's do, not then, because it's a loop. Okay, that's it for the server, and now we're going to move on to the client. Now we're just gonna add our GUI. So here I've already made one. I'll put this in start GUI. Okay, so there's a few things here. There's the text to show the server name. Let's rename that server name. And then we have a button, a text button for the region filter. When you click on this, this will pop up and it will become visible, and you can filter the regions. The UI doesn't look that good, but it's pretty simple. And the scrolling frame is to scroll for all the available servers. It has a UI list layout, so this is needed so that the GUIs inside of this automatically sorts itself. Before that, I didn't know that UI, this type of stuff existed. The list layouts existed, so I used a script to manually save the positions and modify the positions, which is such a bad idea, which is not flexible at all. So yeah, you need a UI list layout. So I have a folder for the template. So this template, what this does is that I will copy the contents of this template and paste this inside of the scrolling frame. And this server component is the servers, as I've showed before. And this is not a frame, but it's a text button so that you can click on it and such. Okay, so I've already have a script here, but let's delete this. Okay, so now let's make a simple code to show the server name first. Let's add a local script. Okay, let's add a text variable, script.parent. Now, whenever we get a remote event, it will change the text value to the received value. So let's add a remote. What's the remote event name again? Server init equals game dot replicated storage wait for child server init. Okay, and then remote on client event connect function, and then the new server name, set the text dot val the dot text equals server name. Okay, so I think that's the right code. Oh no, it's server name and server region. So then you just combine it yourself, add a space here, concatenate it with a space, and this add this with the server region. Okay, now let's see if this works. I'm going to blur this out if this actually works, because I don't want to show my location. Okay, this works very well. And now I need to just change this a little to the right, I think. I don't know, I think I just need to change scaled to true, I think. Okay, I think that's fine. And then that's done. That works. And now we just need to make a new script. I think this is fine, to be honest. Okay, so let me check my notepad. Here's my notepad. So for the client, we need to show the server name and region. That's done. Save all servers and filtered servers. Okay, so let's make a new table, local servers. Make this an empty table for all the servers that we're going to receive. And then filtered servers. This is for the filtered servers when we press the button. But the thing is, we're going to be always using filtered servers. So filtered servers will automatically be the content of the servers, and then it will be filtered when we press the filter button. So, okay. function to filter the server. Okay, function to update the GUI. Okay, so let's first add a remote event to get the updated server. So the remote event is game.replicate storage, wait for child, server list. Okay, let's make the functions to filter the server, local function filter, and then local function update GUI. That's what we need. Oops, I messed something up. And then let's add the remote event, remote on server event, on client event, connect function. And then what we receive, we're going to receive, oh, we haven't received anything. So let's just fire the server list to the client, server list, fire all clients, and then we're going to send the servers. And then we're going to do the same when we've removed the server from the server list. Okay, now that's done. So now we have a servers list for all of the servers. Let's change this to received servers. Received servers. Okay, servers, received servers, and filtered servers equals received servers. And then we want to automatically filter. And then we want to update the GUI. Okay, so now for the filter function. Okay, for the filter function, we need to access a few things first, like the region button. Like the region button and the region filter. So when we open the region filter, it will automatically enable the region visibility. So let's do that real quick. Let's put this let's get the variables first. Okay, local GUI equals game.players dot local players. Let's set the screen GUI name to serverlist UI. Okay, dot serverlist UI. Players UI dot starter. Wait for child serverlist UI. Now that we have a GUI, our GUI, and then we can get the region filter button. Okay, local region filter equals UI. Wait for child region filter. Once we have that, we can get the regions frame. Regions equals region filter. Wait for child regions. Oops, not GUI. Wait for child regions. After that, we can get the template, local template equals GUI. Wait for child template. And then we can get the scrolling frame. Scrolling frame equals template. Oh, no, not template. GUI. Oops. GUI. Wait for child template. There we go. Not template. Scrolling frame. There we go. Okay. Now that we have that, let's now get the UI list layout from the template. Local UI list, UI layout template, wait for child, UI list layout, get the server component equals template, wait for child, server component. Now that that's done, we can add a script for the region filter button. I keep misclicking. Region filter dot activated connect function. Okay, once we've activated this, we can turn on the visibility of the regions. Visible equals true. There we go. Or we can do this, not region dot visible. So then it will be a toggle. Okay, If it's true, then what's the opposite of true? It's false. If the region visibility is false, what's the opposite of false? It's true. Just a toggle. Okay, now that it's done, we can go to the filter, and here let's add a new parameter called selected region. Okay, now that we have the selected region, we can do a loop on the servers. So let's do a for loop for index and server in pairs servers do if server region equals selected region, then table dot insert, or we can just insert it like this, filtered servers equals index it with the maximum items of filtered servers. Wait, if it's 0, then I think it should be +1, maximum +1, same with the other. But okay, so now let's just do table.insert because it's way better. Table.insert servers. I'm doing the same for this part of the code, but it's putting server. Same here. Table.insert filtered servers, put in server. Now that's done. Okay, so we've added the new server instead of filtered servers, but we need to not forget, we need to remember that we've already put in every server inside of filtered servers. So we must make sure that filtered servers needs to be emptied first. There we go, now it's an empty table. Okay, that's good, filter works now. But we need a way when we click through the region button, like the region here, it will filter it to the selected region. Okay, so what I want you to do is that you've already made the GUI, right? Okay, if you haven't, pause the video, make your GUI, and then come back. Okay, so my system is that you add text buttons to the regions, and you change the text to the region you want. So first you need to find out all the regions in Roblox. So I think you can find a way to look for all the regions in this community resource, or in Roblox games like Deepoken, it shows all the available servers. I think that's quite accurate. So yeah, and then you change the text to exactly the same the same city name, and make sure the first letter is capitalized. And what I want you to do is that I want you to loop through the regions. So let's loop through the regions for region in pairs regions get children do region dot activated. Hold on, something's wrong. Oh, if region is a text button, because there's UI list layout here, text button, then region dot activated connect function filter, then the region name. So it'll be region dot text, because the name of the region will be inside of the text. So here's Singapore, and the text is Singapore. There you go, Singapore, so that it will be accurate. Okay, now that the filter is working, now let's add an update GUI function. So here in the update GUI function, let's loop through first, I think let's clear out all the components inside of scrolling frame. So scrolling frame clear, what's it called again? Clear all children. Okay, so every children inside of scrolling frame is removed. Okay, And then we need to clone the UI list layout. So UI cloned UI layout equals UI layout cloned UI layout parented to the scrolling frame, and then you have the new UI layout. After that, I need you to loop throughout the filtered servers for server in pairs. Filtered servers do uh, filtered servers do. There we go. And let's create local server component, server cloned server component clone, and let's change the name to server name. Okay, clone server component dot clone server component dot player count. Let's change the player count first. Player count to server. Let me check. What did we send? Oh, we haven't sent the players. So let's send the players. Server players equals game dot players. So we get the amount of the players we have. Server players concatenated with this and the maximum players, so max players. There we go. After that, let's clone the server component dot region equals, oh, it's text. I forgot the text. Clone the server the text equals server dot server region, I think. Okay, server region. And then clone server component dot server name, server dot server name. I think that's all for the text. Then we can just parent the clone server component to the scrolling frame. Okay, now once that's done, we need to make it so that when the button is activated, we get teleported to the game, to the server. So clone server component dot activated connect function. I think it was, oh yeah, there it is. Game get service teleport service. Yeah, I think the AI is actually right. Yeah, the AI is right actually. So, and then what I want to do is when I hover over the button, it will highlight it. So clone server component dot hover dot, what is it, dot mouse enter connect function, and clone server component dot color 3 dot color dot color, what is it, background color, I think. Background color equals color 3 dot from RGB. Let's get the same color. But let's increase it like 33, so it's way lighter. And when the mouse leaves, we revert it to the original color. So let's get the original color. Local default color equals clone server component to background color. Okay, so before that I need to fix something. So the filter isn't working properly because we haven't updated the GUI when we filter. So let's update GUI. Oops, let's put this below update GUI then. Update GUI. There we go. And then what else? I forgot to send the server information. It said send hello. So here, send the server information. Okay. So if I want, so that if we click on any button, then it will disable the GUI. So regions.visible equals false. Regions visible equals false. I think this should be all. Okay, so I think it's supposed to be game.players.getPlayers, so that we get all the players. Okay, now it works. Okay, so I tested my game and I've noticed that I received a lot of errors. Look, see this? There's so much errors. Yeah. So the thing is, in messaging service, when you receive a message, it has a value called data, and to access the data that you've been received, you need to access the server that has been received. You need to do server.data, not just server. I forgot about that. And let's just change this to data, so we can do data.data. Now we can just remove this. We can just make local server equals data.data like that. Hello. Yeah. And then we need to check if our game is in the game, if the data that's been sent isn't the same game as our server, because sometimes, because it's all the time actually, when you publish a message, you will also receive it if you subscribe to the topic. Okay, see, you will also be receiving your own server. There you go. Now it should be working all fine and dandy, I think. There's another problem. The client won't receive this remote event for some reason. Okay, so but it turns out I forgot that there might not be any players when the server is initialized, and when new players are joined, it won't send it to them. Because I've been playing so long in Roblox Studio, I forgot what the actual game is like. So what you need to do is you need to add in a game.players.players edit event like this. Hold on. Yeah, game dot players add dot player edit event connect function to player, and then we send the remote event to the player like this. Now let's just create let's remove all this, to be honest. Oops, not this. And then we just remote server init fire client player, and put in the server name. Let's add a space, a separator, this, and add in the region. Okay, I think this should work now. The code didn't work because we put the players added. I checked if this printed players added when I joined the game, but it didn't. But that's because it's below the while loop, and it's gonna keep looping, and so it won't reach that part of the code. So that's why we copy it and paste it above pretty much everything else like that. Okay. And now let's fix this part of the code. So here in this code, we get sync the API, but if there is an error, if there were to be an error, then the entire code would be broken. So that's why I added a p call right here. Okay, create an empty table, not an empty variable, response and data, and make a p call with the variable being success and error message. So what p call does is that it's a protected call. It calls a function, and if it's an error, it returns an error, and it won't break the script because it will just return the error message. Okay, so it has success and an error message, and inside of the p call we get the response, and then we get the data. Make sure you copy this. Okay, make sure you copy this part of the code, and then instead of doing this, we do if success, then region, this uh this variable right here, region equals data dot region name, and then print region is, so that it's for debugging, so to debug the region. And then if it's not successful, then it's going to print not successful and warn the error message right there. What warn does, it's a print, but it's colored yellow. Okay, so, and here I sent the server name and regions, but I've messed up in the code right here. What I did was I did this and concatenated with the server region, but I forgot that the server region is empty because I already concatenated in the server. So that's why I removed this. Remove everything that's related to the server region and set the text to only server name. Okay, and I think that is all. My medal is so annoying. Okay, so let's publish. Okay, now I have two accounts right here. One is in the browser and the other is in Roblox from the Microsoft Store. You could use multiple Roblox. It's an application that allows you to open multiple Roblox, but for some reason it wasn't working. So let's just open this here and open this here. In this account, I blocked Sushi Monster, or my main account, so that it won't be in the same server. Okay. Okay. As you can see, it works. Fierce Banshee, Northwest. I don't know what Northwest means. What Northwest is, I think I should just, yeah, what is Northwest, bruh? What even is Northwest? Same, it's also Northwest. But the filter doesn't work. First of all, the filter doesn't work. And second of all, it doesn't show the GUI. And here I forgot to set cloned server component dot visible equals server. It turns out it's because I had a script inside of region filter that does the exact same. Oh my god. Let me just remove this. So silly. I was going crazy thinking about, oh, okay, now it works. Oh my god. Not regions.visible. Okay, and then there's another problem. In filter, let's make it so if selected region isn't equal to any, then just call everything here. Because if any, then I want it so that filtered region, actually let's do this. Okay, okay, that else filtered servers equals servers and update GUI. So if it's any, then it changes, it makes the filter, it removes the filter basically. Okay, so let me see if this works now. It's easy to test because we can just go to the server list, add a while loop, right here. While wait 5 do, and I'll just send server list for all clients. So first, let's just do this. So I'm sending a dummy server. Okay, I think I'll just do while true to and then add the wait 5. Okay, I figured what the problem is. First of all, I forgot to set the text. Text. There we go. Second of all, it's because look at this. It loops through the filter surface. But um when we look at this, we filtered the server, but we didn't put any selected region. So that's why it got confused. Okay. So that's why the filter is empty. So what we need to do is add the filter to any, so that any server, actually let's do this. Let's create a variable for selected region, local selected region equals any. So this is the default value, and when we press the regions right here, let's copy this, let's cut this, and set selected region to this text. Now the default value of selected region is any, and when we click on any of the region, it changes the variable to the region text. And when we filter it, it automatically uses this variable right here. So that's why when we send the dummy, see, it works. But there's another error. Expect color expected got color 3. So dot background color 3. I think it's background color 3. See, it works now. See? Okay. Now let's remove this create script right here. There we go. So let me make a summary again, because after auto fixes. So here we added HT servers and message service. We added remote events for server init and a server list. Server init is to initialize the server name. Server list is to send the client the server list. We have a module instead of server list for the possible server names. We create the server name. We set the region to not applicable as of right now. And we after that we get the we get an API. We call an API to get the server region. And we added a game players connect. So when a player is added, we initialize the server name, we send the server name and the server region, and then we call using pcall the server. We get the server region of the server by using an API to get the IP of a server. And if it's successful, then we set the region to the region name. If it's not, then we're going to not set anything, so it's not applicable. After that, we've initialized the server name. We can just do subscribe the sync to the server topic, so that this communicates with any server. If any server sends a server, then we'll receive it by data.data. But first, we need to check if the job ID isn't the same as the server ID that's been sent, because we also send our own messaging service here with the same topic to send to other servers, but not our own. That's why we check if the game job ID isn't the same. And we also do while loop if the game.vip server is empty. So if this game is a VIP server, then we're going to keep publishing, because if it's a VIP server, then other people won't be able to join, and that's redundant. Okay, so here in the local script, we have a local script instead of this, which changes the text, which receives a remote event for a server init and changes the text of the server name. Here we have servers and filtered servers. We have an update UI to loop through the filtered servers and basically just clone the component and such. Added teleport to instance right here. We have filter to filter the servers. If the server is any, then it's just going to not set any server. We have a local variable right here for the selector, and then we receive the server in this remote event, and we just filter the servers right here. Yeah, honestly, bro, this isn't even needed. Okay, regions filter. So this updates the filtered server. So yeah, and then we added a button to open the region filter, and we loop through the regions. And even if we click the region, then it's going to filter it to that region. So here, let's give back the while true do loop. As you can see, there's this. So if we set the region to Tokyo, then it won't work. If it's any, then it will work. Okay, very nice. But there's still this one problem. It's still NA, but I don't think it will be a problem for the actual game and not Studio, because Studio you join instantly, but in an actual game the server will initialize first and then a player will join. But I think if the player joins a little too fast, then I think I will just do fire all clients here, right here, fire all clients here, like this, just the same right here, to fire all clients. That way, even in Studio it works. See, I'll blur that. Okay, now let's publish this. California, majestic. Bruh, we have our own server. Yeah, we forgot to remove this. Okay, publish. Northwest and Northwest. See, this is the other server and this is the other server. You can use the filter like this and any for this to work. Let's join that server. Because it's server code right here, even though it's supposed to be server ID. Publish. Okay. Okay, this Oregon, this is Northwest. I can TP to Oregon. There we go, it works. See, it works now. Hello, Sushi Master. Then you can add a button to disable this region or whatever, and that's it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. The next video will be about this same thing, but for like depogon type of stuff, for its different places, to TP to different places. It's really cool, and we have a lot of bugs in this video today because of it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be making videos again. Okay, thank you.